Our champion of change today is Catherine B. Reynolds, Chairman and CEO of the Catherine B. Reynolds Foundation. Catherine is a renowned entrepreneur and philanthropist who revolutionized higher education financing. 3 decades ago, she identified a gap in the education financing system, particularly for middle-class families, and set out to create a solution. Through EduCap, she developed an innovative financial infrastructure that created today's $200 billion U.S. private student loan industry. Through partnerships with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, she created an innovative, sustainable business model that provided student loans as an employee benefit, expanding educational opportunities and making the dream of college a reality for so many families across the United States. Welcome, Catherine.
Thank you, Lorraine. Nice to see you.
I think there are so many lessons to be learned from your story. One of them is that old adage that a successful innovation must solve a problem. Can you talk about the importance of problem solving, passion, drive, and commitment to the heart of the innovation process?
Certainly. In my specific case, I was brought up in a household where education was absolutely considered the pathway to the American dream. And so in my DNA, valuing education was very important. And being able to provide an innovative product for most families was really at the core of the mission of the company, but was at really the center of what drove me. We not only were innovative in creating the product, we were really innovative in addressing the customer and the customer's journey. So innovation and passion for both of those things permeated throughout building the business.
Yes, and I'd just like to add that, Catherine, you created something when there was nothing. There was no vision. You had to create the vision for it, that focus on the customer. I think some of the first examples that I have of data and analytics being used to truly understand the customer. So many seminal firsts in what you did with EduCap. The focus of my book is on innovation at the organizational level. To bring your idea to market, Catherine, you had to persuade dozens of organizations, not only banks, but major employers, that this idea had merit and that helping to finance college education for employees and their children was a safe and worthwhile investment. What were your biggest challenges in that effort, and how did you overcome them?
That's a great question. There were challenges at every level, at every turn, because it was first instance on all fronts. First instance on the product, first instance on how to market it, how to even communicate it. But the way that we addressed it was to take each one separately and address it. But this is where passion comes into play very much, because it's really hard. It's very hard to create something from nothing or a new vision of something. And so most people are naysayers. In fact, they will tell you it will never work. It's the dumbest idea they've ever heard. And what I have learned from this experience, and frankly, in working with other entrepreneurs, is usually when people are telling you it will never work and the dumbest idea, that you are actually onto something. But that onto something takes passion, which is what we started earlier, because it's difficult. The other thing that helps is that as an entrepreneur, I never understood the word no. So if someone said no to me, I actually interpreted that as they really meant yes. It was just my job to convince them how to get to yes. So you cannot be discouraged. I think it takes really a commitment to your mission And that, once again, that is where our passion comes in.
Well, that's great advice, Catherine, and it's really at the heart of no fear, no failure, because you're absolutely correct in that the naysayers are most of the reasons that ideas get shot down, and it's so much harder and arduous journey, as you describe, you experienced, in order to kick that door open and boldly go through it and make the kinds of transformational change that you did. So wonderful, wonderful story. We thank you so much for sharing it with us and really enjoyed our conversation today.
Thank you. Be bold, be fearless.
We'll announce our next Champions of Change conversation on LinkedIn. In the meantime, you can pre-order your copy of No Fear, No Failure on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and bookshop.org.